Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We're playing Late Age Home in the biggest Bozmos. You may ask yourself, what is that? Well, it's a big fucking map, is what it is. And it's a mod. And there's some bugs in this map. Let's not pretend it's all, roses and whatnot. So, what has happened? Well, a few things have happened. We traded some air gems with New Atlantis, who's being played by a sub. We've got a little augury going off here. I think for our site searching this turn, I think we found one thing. I can't remember. Oh no, we found two. Yeah, this is actually pretty nice. We found here a Gloom Gate, which gives us 2 bonus death gems and 2 bonus death ritual range, and then a Labyrinth of Skulls, which gives us 1 additional death gem. So plus 3 death gems, very nice. We can make very good use of death gems, but we kind of have a glut of them. They're not something that are scarce right now. We also cast Flames from the Sky, killed 74 units, and that was here. It looks like he reinforced with more Nazca dudes, more Sapayas, which are what we want to kill off. We don't care so much about this chef. This chef, if we choose to attack on one hand, Nazca is like the second for army size graph. They're well above me. They're way up here. And I want to look at graphs this turn, but they're way up there. So on one hand, I'm just doing kind of a community service, knocking these numbers down. On the other hand, I have been talking with Late Age Marignon, who, if you recall, I was thinking about attacking because I wanted this moon. And there's a few reasons I don't really want to attack them. One is I don't really want to be on a planet with Therados. The second, because it's not a great matchup for me. The second thing is the big powers in this world have to do something about Yis. Yis is eating Asaloon right now. Like, he's all the way up here. He's got part of this moon. He's up here on this island a little bit. And his plan, Oceania, comes down here into this kind of little small sea. And Bandarlog apparently is right here. And I think Yis is going to finish eating Oceania, then he's going to come eat Bandarlog. Nazca is all right here. And then we have Early Age Abyssia, who is down here. And I think through one of these caves, I figure out which cave it was. One of these provinces over here connects. Okay, well, I can't find it, but I just know one of these provinces. I mean, maybe it was this one, actually. Or this port he might have come through. You can see there's a little harbor thing. Anyway, Abyssia is over here. And Abyssia has basically eaten Marverni. Nazca is right here. So the thing is, like, this whole planet's going to be eaten by Yis, because Yis doesn't have to worry at all about defense on Silent Seas, right? This is a completely safe 70 province home base. So he's just blasting out troops onto Asaloon. He's also got some guys up here on Blandos. I was thinking about attacking that. That was why I actually took this, so I have the option to attack that. But we've all been talking, and I think who's the second biggest and is a good player, he's right here, and he's pretty big. He was talking about, like, yeah, I'll help or something. We could keep him on the start. He's not going to help shit. I don't think so anyway. He's not going to do dick all, I don't think. I think he's friends with Yis, and I think he's not going to do anything. That's from talking with it, because here's what I told him. I was like, look, dude, like, talk to Marignon and see if you can get 1 star so that you can come mess with Yis. Because if he does it and Marignon does it and I do it, then Yis might just accept. We can't completely bottle Yis up, but we can at least channel the beam of death coming from his planet into a hard planet, or not let him completely take over a planet, Anyway. So anyway, that was what we were talking about. And he said that Marignon wouldn't give him a star because Marignon may want to fight Ind or something. I mean, please. Look, Marignon has plenty of stars. Marignon can go somewhere if they want to. And giving a star to so he can help Versius, I think is extremely reasonable. So either he's very bad at negotiating, or what I think is more likely is that he actually wants to eat his whole planet. So that's not good, because it means nobody's going to help Versius. Anyway. That being said, we've been talking again, and one thing does have is he does have a passage through one of these islands. This one. This little cave connects to... This is and actually owns this cave. One thing we were talking about is, I think this idea... So one idea was like, we contain Yiss on the stars, and some of the other big players just fall on the sword a little bit, and fight Yiss on the stars, even just to contain him, to slow him down. And I think that's actually kind of a losing strategy in a way. Not losing. It's just not... It's going to be hard to organize people around that, because people are greedy. And nobody wants to fight Yiss so that they move, like, even if it hurts Yiss, but if it moves them from position like 3 to position 6, like, nobody wants to do that. So I think what we have to do is we have to all have things we can gain out of it. So I think what that means is, if either this planet is going to organize, which so far they've done an absolutely lousy job doing, like extremely chaotic and unorganized. Like, you compare how we handled the Calum threat on our planet, where we all had like a group chat and we talked about who was going where, and we built each other items, and we didn't backstab each other. And because Calum was like going crazy. He was like #1 in army graph. He was eating Jotunheim at the same time he was eating Rotterdam. And he would have been able to eat both of them. I'm absolutely confident. But Alcara stepped in, I stepped in, Kaelasa stepped in. Now, Kaelasa may have been able to win a 1v1 against Calum. I think Calum would have won, but who knows? Maybe not. Anyway, but we organized to avert the bird apocalypse, and it's mostly been averted now, right? Like, now I'm actually not really wanting to help the coalition that much anymore, because I don't have any more lands to gain. And Calum right now, the longer it takes for him to die, probably the better for me. I mean, I'm not actively doing anything to help them, but I mean, they're just going to have to do the rest themselves for dealing with Calum. But anyway, you look at how we organized and you compare it to how Asaloon organized. Asaloon hasn't organized at all. So first of all, it was only Marverni attacking Yiss, and then Abyssia backstabs Marverni, right? And then Oceania was like, okay, we'll help. So that is a bit of organization. But nobody else helps them, and everybody hates Oceania because Oceania had attacked them all earlier. So Oceania is going in to help and like fight Yiss, and he rides his little sea ponies over this way. And I can't remember if it was this turn or last turn, but they all died. He killed one Morvark Knight with like 500 troops and a ton of mages. So that's how that went. I think he got foul vapored too. It was some silly way he died. It's like, Oceania getting foul vapored? What? Normally Oceania would be foul vaporing you. But anyway. And I mean, the Yiss player is probably a better player than Oceania, but at the same time, he's also got a massive economy and research advantage. So anyway, I don't think there's a ton the Oceania player could do. But anyway, so now that Oceania has ridden out, trying to get into the oceans of Silent Seas, which makes sense because Oceania does not want to take fights on land. Anyway, he did this. He tried to do this. It didn't really work. And now basically all the oceans of Asaloon are undefended. But people were not being very friendly with Oceania while he was doing all that. And so Yiss basically got to be in a 1v1 with Marverni until Marverni got backstabbed. And then he switched to fighting Oceania. Oceania rolled out and everything died. And I've basically told Relay, who's the other underwater power on here, like, because Oceania has already sacrificed his army, You might as well go ahead and eat his stuff just to prevent Yis from getting it, because Oceania is like completely boned now. But there's like he's basically switched from being in a 1v1 to another 1v1, and when he has the whole water system of this planet is completely screwed. So what does all this get us? Well, I think we all like. We can't allow Yis to get Asaloon. I think if Yis gets Asaloon, I think he wins the game. And we're not going to be able to cut him off from the stars. First of all, it'd be hard. He can gateway. There's not a lot of gain for the people who are going to be spending all the money in the troops. I think what we have to do is the big players each have to have a stake on Asaloon. I can either go through and attack Ubar, because one thing I did not notice, but somebody told me, was that I think I maybe noticed it earlier, but I forgot about it. This cave province here, the Red Mines, it actually connects all the way up here to this Ubar province. Right here. So, the Silver World. Because of that, I could potentially invade Ubar. Ubar is not very big, but invading Ubar is kind of cancer. I could probably do it. But I would need basically super combatants, plus assassin chaff to roll in, and I would probably need vampires. So anyway, things I don't have yet, but that's one option. We could come in here and have a portion of this, right? Like take all of the Yis stuff. I mean the Ubar stuff. Ubar was nice to me. They forged me some items, so I don't know. That's another reason not to do it. I think Ubar right now is fighting middle-aged Tianchi, who's up here. And I think middle-aged Tianchi's in some ways getting their teeth kicked in. Down here, okay, there's Abyssia. Nazca's here. Nazca, we've been talking about. I think Nazca's probably the best target, just because I'm getting two birds with one stone. We're getting rid of probably one of the more cancerous nations left in the game. And we would be also having a very strong position on Asaloon so that we can help in the war with Yis. We don't need to conquer the planet. That's not really our ambition. But if we have if we look, I mean, if we go here, we have to conquer Nazca. So if we conquer Nazca and we have a major position here, we're able to fight Yis. So that's the thing. There is a war brewing here with Vanheim or raging between Vanheim and Abyssia. So I've been wanting to do this, but he has Fog Warriors. We have Ghoul Guardians. I mean, I don't think Wrathful Skies is up, but we'll see. Maybe I need to wait for Alteration 8 or something where I have Ground Army. I'm not sure. I've got decisions to make. I haven't made them all. This turn, we cast Bat Transformation with Mr. Wiggles. Okay, and we brought... If you remember, he had the audacity. And audacity is the right word, right? Just the absolute gall to attack me on land. To not know that land is fucking mine. And the ocean, he's allowed to have... Sort of. But he is not allowed to have the land. So, we have on our god the Wraith Crown. So all the little skeletons that come from that are going to stream out and distract them. The imps that are getting spawned are jumping back here to the back line. Mages are getting all fatigued out casting Falling Frost. We're summoning some imps. We've got quite the little network of dudes back here spamming stuff out, doing reinvigoration, they're casting spells, doing Raise Dead, summon imps. And you can see now there's a lot of imps back here. Now they're doing acid spray, and so these imps are getting poisoned. We can see that Worm is back here, and I took most of the gear off him. He's got good armor on anyway. He's just going to be back here chopping things up. I thought about putting my dragon on fly attack rear. I should have done that, but I didn't. I didn't think I thought they would run farther forward. Like, I thought they were going to summon a bunch of water elementals, and I don't know. Water elementals can kill like 4 things a turn. So I thought we were going to be a bit more overwhelmed, and I thought he would actually go into melee, but that didn't happen. And now they're running. And the question is, will the mages get off? Killing all these things, the mages are running, one's already made it off. These 2 are running. Imp comes in, snipes that guy. This guy's ethereal, and he gets sniped too. So, in net, here, this was our magic phase attack. We killed all the Coral Guard, or most of the Coral Guard, and 3 out of 5 of the mages of the deep. We found 2 water lenses. What sucks was there were 2 water bottles. We killed one of the dudes with water bottle, so that water bottle got deleted. That's good. But we didn't steal it, and we didn't kill the other dude with the water bottle. So that's a little sad. Also, he rolled out and attacked me here, which is kind of the move I thought he was going to make. Anyway. Well, let's talk about this a little bit. So he's got a 15 shock resistance, 15 poison resistance, which kind of makes sense, actually, because underwater, you really do worry about poison resistance. Wait, I thought he had poison resistance. Oh, it's cold resistance. He has no poison resistance. Oh, hello. Oh, hello. Why did I think he did? He's got cold and shock resistance. On an Earth nation like Atlantis, shock resistance is really good because they can do Army of Gold and stuff and not worry about it. So that's cool. But yeah, the mages here, they basically just have little water lenses on all of them, which is kind of his thing. He's doing this with all of his mages. And yeah, that's about how many dudes. So if we look at the battle report, it's about 100 dudes. A mix of all different types of ground units. The Basalt King, notably, is not a super pet. He's just a caster. And then 6 mages of the deep, a mother of the deep, and the future queen, who I think this is a hero. So, unfortunately for him, is I have figured out that he stepped into a trap. So we have these guys here. We also moved this army from my fort back down onto this. And our siege strength is only 148, but we had already done damage to it the previous turn. So we're actually going to storm the castle here. And there's something I did not know about Dominions Enhanced, and I was very unhappy to find out. And that was that there's actually a magic phase gateway. And one of them is direct waves, and this moves the commander underwater. And this is basically like an underwater cloud trapeze, which seems like complete bullshit to me. You know, just saying. Direct waves. There's also an underwater gateway, which can't trace through land. It can only trace through water. And yeah, you have to target a province with a lab in it, and you can gateway a whole army. So that sucks. The problem with this is that he can just stick a whole army inside this fort if he wanted to. And that would make me very sad. I'd be very, very, very sad. The thing that makes me want to storm it anyway is I've got this guy. So even if my army routes, they have to kill him. And he will murder... Because I've already got him set where he's going to get Iron Warriors, Legions of Steel, Body Ethereal, and stuff on him. He's going to murder stuff. Like, he's very, very scary. 4 attacks, all over 25 damage. Magic attacks, he's going to be Body Ethereal. He's going to be, like, 30 protection easily. So we're going to storm it anyway. If he magic phases in a lot of mages, it's going to suck for us. There's no 2 ways about it. We'll probably lose all the troops. But there's a good chance he takes this. And we've got him out of position because he's got this army, which is moving through. It's just a few mages and some Coral Guard coming in to reinforce. But they're not here yet. So anyway, we can hit this. The other thing is that this guy only has 1 retreat path. He's in Friendly Dominion, 1 retreat path, and that's onto this fort. And what we're going to take advantage of here is we're going to cut off that retreat path. We pinged this last turn. There's one mage inside this fort, so he could have that Mage of the Deep patrolling. But otherwise, it's just going to be PD. And we're going to magic phase in Shit-Eating Grin, because he's my only real guy who can go underwater right now. He's not going to be scripted with returning or a Ring of Returning or anything. He's going to come in and fight. And he's basically doing Power of the Sphere, Soul Vortex, and Swarm. And yeah, he's just going to unload a bunch of stuff on top of the PD here. Should kill anything. And then all the retreat routes are going to be cut off in the magic phase. And then we are magic phasing on top of him, Red. And Red is ready to go. This is his kit. I think I switched this out in the actual turn to be a Flesh Eater. And I think this is the kit. It's interesting, though, this kit, because we've got Shocking Grasp from the shield and Lightning Bolt from the helmet. And he has 15 shock resistance in his Bless. And the shield, I think it does 18, so it can do chip damage through these guys, like the Sacreds. But, you know, Sacreds are not the majority of this army. Most of the army is non-Sacreds, and the Water Elementals are not Sacred. So I think what will happen is this guy will actually selectively target the Water Elementals, which is nice, because the Water Elementals can actually hurt this guy, and the other dudes cannot. So killing all the Water Elementals is actually good. And I have to get Body Ethereal on him. If we don't get Body Ethereal, he will die to the Water Elementals if he gets surrounded. So it's very important. So I have to magic phase in a mage, and I only, because I did this huge magic phasing in of Astral Mages here, and I had to put, not here, here, and I had to put all of my Astral gear on them, like all my little Starshine skull caps and stuff. Like here you can see these guys both have these things. Anyway, I was out. And I didn't have any Astral Mages that I could access because they're all out here and there's no lab. And so I had to bite the bullet and send... I didn't have to. I chose to bite the bullet and send Walter. Put a Ring of Water Breathing. We teleport him underwater so that he can fluff Red. And the problem with doing this is if Walter dies on the retreat, like I could script him to do returning and he zaps back home, but there's a chance, it's a small chance, but there's a chance it doesn't work. And I have found my RNG with returning is particularly bad. Particularly bad. Way worse than it should be. So I kind of don't want to mess with it. And what I figured was actually, if I literally own every single retreat province from here, then he can't, like it's safer for me to retreat than it is to do returning. And so that's what we stick with. We're going to do retreat from here with Walter. And it may not be 100%. And the thing is, like, Walter in many ways is irreplaceable for me. Like, Air Blood is a really important cross path because it gives Robe of the Magi and then potentially Storm Demons and stuff later. And then Astral Air is really nice. So I don't know. There's a bunch of things that I really don't want Walter to die, but he might. So we're going to have to roll the dice. The thing is, this is just such an incredible opportunity to wipe out this army. Because if I can wipe out this army and I take this fort, then soon after I'll take this fort. Because I got this army moving in here, and the next turn it's going to be on top. Moving these guys over this way too. We'll be able to tear down both these forts and pillage this land into nothing. And oh boy will we. We absolutely will. We're going to pillage these to the dirt. Let's see if there's anything else that happened. We took the fort from Scalaria. There's nothing really to see there. Yeah, I think that's basically it. Yeah, and maybe we'll call it for that episode. I was going to do a 2-fer, but I think we're only going to do a 1-fer because it's 25 minutes. I don't want to start another turn. But I have one more turn, and I'm going to go ahead and record it after this, but you will see it in the next episode. So I will see you guys then.